everything is on the table, including the form of government, the authorities vested in its constituent parts, the town administrator, how we in fact govern ourselves. So it's a tremendously important function, and we're going to need people on there that can not only have the desire to be there, but have the ability to invest a lot of time and effort into this. So please forgive my question, but it concerned me, and I wanted to make sure that we talked about it.
No, I fully intend to do the duration and put out the time. I'm sure I've
Have you looked over our charter?
Yes, I have.
What do you see as specific issues or problems that you feel need to be remedied, and how would you approach that as a committee member?
Well, I don't want to commit myself at this time without hearing both sides of the story, but I know that one of the issues that will be coming up will be the Board of Selectmen versus a mayor situation, which people have talked to me about that, and I'm very interested to hear both sides of the stories of that. And I'd also like to find out about the administrator in that role too.
I personally believe that this current charter, and I've said this before, and this is not directed to, obviously, to Mr. Sanguinetti, it's just his watch at the moment. The charter is a perpetual document. And it appears to me that that charter introduces a real dysfunctional relationship between the Board of Selectmen, whoever that may be at the time, and the town administrator, whoever that might be at the time. And so that tension, if you will, I believe certainly needs to be addressed. One way or the other. There's too much ambiguity. What is the real definition of day-to-day? And who, more importantly, makes that decision? I think I understand it, but I've seen it used in many different contexts when it was convenient at the time. And I make, again, no, I'm not talking about the guy at the end of the table who currently occupies the seat. I'm saying it in a very general way. So, not to put you on the spot, like what form of government should we have, but are there any inconsistencies in the charter that you see, other than do we maintain this form of government or not? Because I believe the charter is a lot more than that question.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how to answer that, but at this point I would like to hear the arguments before I make a decision on that, or before I come up with a plan.
Well, you were on the Charter Review Committee before. What was the process? Because the Charter Review Committee isn't going to be deciding anything.
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain for the benefit of the public the process.
I wasn't on the Charter Review Committee. I followed it and went to the meetings. And,
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And basically they make the recommendations, and it's voted on by the people.
By referendum?
Yeah, by referendum or by, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Selectman Cronin.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, thank you very much for coming in, stepping up for this. Let me ask you a question. You've been in Wareham, what, about a year or so?
Almost 2.
Almost 2 years. And you told Bruce that you've read the charter. You think the charter is outdated?
Oh, no.
You don't?
I think it needs to be updated, yes.
But no.
Outdated.
In your opinion, our charter, is it outdated?
I believe it is, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. That's all I have. I just needs work.
Okay. And, you know, as I'll relay to all the committee members, I think that this is a critical board at a critical time in the history of Wareham. And it needs to be well researched as to what the outcome should be. And not what tradition is, but what's best for Wareham. I think that that's what ultimately the goal of that committee should be. Because however the system is right or it's wrong, we need to eliminate as many of the wrongs as we can. So I'm glad that you pointed out that you've already seen some things in a brief period of time living in the community. So that's good to hear, because it's going to take that type of insight and again research into those to find out what's the best solution. Maybe in some instances to leave things alone, but there may be instances where leaving it alone is the easy thing to do, but the tough thing is to change it. So thank you for coming forward.
Thank you.
Being patient tonight.
Thanks, Mr. Smith.
Next we have Kathleen Furler. Did I?
Mr. Pasevich?
We'll have Kathleen, and then I'll go back. Sorry about that. Good evening. Okay. I will begin with Selectman Ekstrom.
I have no questions, thank you.
Selectman Donahue.
Stick with my standard question. What prompted you to put your name in for this committee?
I came here about 4 years ago, and I've been trying to figure out how the town is run. And it seems very, very complicated for ordinary people. I have been trying to figure out how the town works.
Where did you live before?
I lived in Ireland for the last 10 years, and before that I lived in Maine and Oregon and Denver, and I grew up in Weymouth. This was the first exposure I had to town hall meeting government, and I have been astonished by it. I think it's very difficult for ordinary people to make the kind of decisions that we are being asked to be making. So I think we need
It's very
a different...
difficult to get people to that meeting.
Probably because it's so difficult to understand how it works. And it seems to me that the people who know the rules get to manipulate the system and to figure out how to get what they want, rather than ordinary people being able to say what it is they think and what they want.
Thank you.
Okay. Selectman Savageau?
Well, the people who write the rules actually have an advantage to the people who even know the rules. And the Charter Review will be writing the rules, theoretically.
Yes.
What would you say would be your approach to the committee in simplifying the process and simplifying government, and how would you improve how we actually do the business of the people, town meeting, and all of the different parts of the government?
Well, my background is that I was a junior high school teacher, and part of what we did was problem solving and trying to simplify things so that it makes sense. That's what I'm looking for, is a government that makes sense. And so what I tend to do is I look at all the complexities around me and try to sort it out so that it has a structure that makes sense, so that people would know what to do if they have a problem with any part of the government.
Well, what would be part of the charter that doesn't make sense to you, that you would say it should be simplified in a way that would, one, achieve what that part of the charter is attempting to achieve, and two, make it more user-friendly, accessible, transparent, use any word you want, to make this a more understandable government?
Well, I'm sorry, but nobody told me that I was supposed to read this before I came tonight.
Read
I
what?
didn't even know that I was going to be talking. I just was given an invitation to come to this meeting. I didn't know that I was going to be interviewed.
Oh,
So,
well,
that's
I'm
not
not
a
trying to put
background
you
that
on
I
the
have.
spot,
Yeah.
but this is probably